Check, check. Good morning. Just want to check and see if I'm coming through. Try to watch for my phone to make sure the audio is making it out. Okay, I think the audio is coming through. Morning, guys. Jacob with Rice and Land Clearing Growth with our Friday morning live Q&A. Very informal. Just like to come on here and start discussions and talk about what we're seeing that is helping land clearing companies be successful, stay busy, grow, get more freedom, get more profit, buy more machines, hire more operators, whatever their goal is. Love to talk about that and any other topics that folks may want to hit on. Usually I have one or two things I like to cover that we've been kind of working on throughout the week. And then I just watch for questions that may come in the chat and try to answer those and create discussion around that. So if you're watching this live, definitely appreciate it. If you've never heard of us, we are a digital marketing agency positioned as what I call growth partners for land clearing companies. We've been doing that for 4 years. We have about 120 land clearing companies that we work with right now, and majority of those now have been with us for years and years, and I'm just trying to really get more information out there to be able to help anybody who may need or want help, just organically, and then of course also let people know about what we do. But I do these live Friday mornings, 7 a.m. Central Time. We do also have a school group. And for those of you who haven't heard of school, it's like a community, and right now it's a private community of just land clearing companies with basically 3 tiers: a free tier where you can just get in and see all the information, a mid-level tier that's paid where you can have access to more training and courses, and then also a VIP tier, which is only for clients, where we have group calls and one-on-one calls and access to more in-depth information. I still haven't been able to see if this is actually live yet. Let's see if I can get the link pulled up. Check, check. Yeah, okay. We are good. Guys, I put out a video recently kind of talking about the best land clearing companies and the future and AI and where we're at today. So if you have any questions about any of that, we'd definitely love to talk on that topic. It's kind of something we're building out and learning. We're investing in infrastructure and training and staff and support for AI. I've heard it said that we're in the 1995 of the internet era of AI, and usually blue collar businesses are a little just behind the curve in terms of implementing stuff like this compared to big tech companies and stuff, which right now big tech companies are spending billions to build these physical data centers to support AI. But basically, here pretty soon, every business is going to have an AI department, just like they have a sales or marketing or fulfillment or operations or HR department, right? And AI is going to be a part of everybody's business pretty much no matter what, right? It's just getting integrated into everything, right? And the biggest benefit is that it can make tasks way more efficient, especially recurring tasks or data gathering or taking action on data and stuff like that. And so we want to stay ahead of the curve on that. And I would very confidently say that if you do not try to stay with it, your competitors will, and you'll get left behind. They are going to learn to do it more efficiently. Whatever you do and that they also do, AI is going to help them do it more efficiently. One of the coolest examples I've seen recently is people using this to do estimates on two sides. Like one, if you feed the AI like every piece of information that you use to create or build an estimate, it can create and build an estimate very accurately for you. And we're using that in two different ways. But then I have seen people record their physical in-person estimate and then forward that to an AI that's going to take all the information that was said on the recording and then help them build the estimate, which is a really cool way to do it. Very, very cool. Let me pull up my document here. Yeah, so another thing that's really going to help, or AI is going to help you be more valuable and stay ahead of your competition and serve your clients better, is with trust and speed. So trust and speed are quickly becoming the biggest differentiator in land clearing companies, while buyer behavior is shifting. So your ideal client wants to learn as much about your company as they can, including price, process, and reputation, and they want it put in front of them with as little effort as possible. We can think TikTok, Meta, YouTube for stuff like this because information is just so readily available to people now. That's the way that our behavior is changing. If we cannot find out what we want to find out about somebody very, very easily with very little friction, then what normally happens is they either get distracted, give up, move away, or worst case, they move to your competitor who does have that information ready to spoon feed to them. So, as business owners today, especially local business owners, we have a massive responsibility if we want to stay ahead and stay strong to be well known in the community, to educate them very well, and to have as much information readily available to them as possible. And this is a huge shift because we all know the generation of businesses before us, we all know some very successful, very large businesses who probably never did a lick of what we would consider advertising today. They maybe had a listing in the phone book or a billboard somewhere or their card pinned up at a local restaurant or something like that. And it's just very quickly transitioning away from that. Not that it's not good to have something like that where you can have, if you're the more your name is out there, the more omnipresent you are in the community is going to be very, very helpful for your name. But if that's all you have and your competitors have information that clients can easily find, that's who they're going to go with. 78% of people will go with the first company that gives them enough information to make a purchasing decision. And you want that to be you. And imagine if when somebody searches or has been searching or has the interest in what your service offers and they see an ad opposed to listing on their phone and they're able to gather that you're well trusted, they can see you, they know, they can tell who you are and learn about you, they can learn about your process, they can see the good work that you do, and they can see the process it takes to do that and an estimated price range of what it would take to do that. If they're the ideal client and they have the money to do it, and they have all of these things spoon fed to them within minutes or seconds, ideally, why would they go anywhere else, right? They're gonna come to you. So, and vice versa. If you don't have anything except expert land clearing, and the next guy has pictures of him and his family and a video of him talking about his process and how this is how they come and give you an estimate and this is how they get the job scheduled and here's the price range for our services, they're going to go with that company. It's proven. It's proven statistically, and we're seeing it grow stronger and stronger. And you want to front load all of that. Any questions your clients ask, concerns your clients have, you want to try to get as much of that information pulled up before they ever talk to you for two huge reasons. One, so that they don't click away and go to the next person, but then also it saves you tons of time and energy on the flip side. Because if you are talking on the phone to a bunch of people who don't understand your service and or can't afford it, then you're not doing enough educating and providing information on the front end. If you're driving out to someone's house or property and they don't understand what you do or the value of it or how much it costs, you're spinning your wheels, right? If you're having lots of people call for, removing one little tree, or uh, mulching up a little brush pile, but you do big, big clearing, right? You haven't done enough educating on the front end. Or vice versa. Like if you're a smaller outfit and, small residential jobs is your bread and butter, and you're knocking out those jobs left and right, but you're landing enormous clearing jobs, then again, your education's not there, right? And that's also how you can kind of help compare yourself to other companies. That's another thing. If people are asking you, like, well, what's different between you and this other guy I'm getting a quote from, and it's like they should know those types of things before you ever talk to them. Now, of course, you're still going to get people who just don't read or watch anything that just call, right? And usually those are actually higher intent people. But that's going to be the minority if you have a lot of this information out there. And a lot of people, like, especially once you start having good pricing models out there, and process, and your value, and the structure that makes your company a professional company, and all these things, if somebody comes in and sees that, and they're either one, looking for the cheapest guy, or they truly don't have the money to afford you or your service, they're going to learn that very quickly and then disqualify themselves, which means you'll be able to spend less time talking to them, right? Because it is nice to get tons of leads, but if you get 100 leads and 5 to 10 of them are decent, and you then do 3 to 4 of those jobs, you did a lot of work to manually filter through all of those things. Versus if you pull a lot of that information up into the core of your website, your page, your videos, your posts, then you may go down from 100 leads to 25 leads. But then if you still have that 5 to 10 that are good out of 25, that's a way better feeling, way better ratio, way less work to filter through 25 than it is 100, right? And that's the work. When you put in the work on the front end, it saves you a lot of that time. And that's where I go full circle to what I was talking about earlier, that AI can really help you do a lot of this stuff. If you feed it information, especially if you set up custom GPTs where you can feed it information about your company, your process, it can then take that and run with it from one, just creating information and ideas, but also all the way to automating getting your name out there on Perplexity, Google Gemini, the AI overview at the top of Google, ChatGPT, and it can disseminate information across all of these places that people are hanging out all the time. But then it can also create back-end website content, blog content, all of this stuff that really just boosts up your trust and also speed. You can have live chatbots. You can also have AI voice chatbots that help educate customers and clients, right? So especially if you are growing fast, or you're small and you do not have the ability to answer the phone every single time it rings, answer every single message, this is going to be a massive way to get ahead of your competition, because yes, we got to have boundaries. We don't want to answer the phone at 8 o'clock at night, or sometimes on a weekend, or whatever. And we all would probably agree that human interaction is still the number one. But if the two options are human interaction or they call your competitor, I would rather have AI in there to talk to them. And they're getting very, very good at sounding like a real person. Now, my preference, though, is to not try to trick people. I like to have it up front if they're actually talking to a voice AI, where it's like, hey, I'm I'm Jacob. I'm an AI virtual receptionist. It's technically after hours for one of our team members, but I actually have the answers to 99% of your questions. So if you have any questions, just tell me what it is you're needing done, where you're located, who you are, and I can, point you in the right direction and give you as much information as possible. And when you feed it the right information, it can get somebody's address and whatever questions you want. It'll actually put all that information into the CRM for you, but or into whatever system you use. But it can also give them an estimate. So, like if you have all the parameters in there, and they say they need 5 acres, that's lightly wooded. They need to take out all trees under 8 inches, and they're just looking to open it up so the property's more usable. They want it done in the next few weeks, and they live in this county. Then the AI can come pop out and say like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 based on these factors, and here's what we're going to do, and here's good, better, and best options." Um, I can send all this information to you in an email, and I can have one of our team members follow up with you first thing Monday morning. You know, that's kind of like how an interaction like that could go. On the flip side, like you could even have it answer when you miss the call. So say you're out there in the machine and someone calls you and you can't answer it, it can filter through like, is this someone calling for information? Is this a current client wondering how much longer it's going to be today on the job? Is this um, a past client calling because something went wrong, or they need you to follow up on something, or they're trying to get you a payment? It can filter through those things, and then it can send you a summary afterwards. So like if you have your phone mounted but you don't answer it because the machine is loud, or you have like a smart watch or something, the AI can take that call and then filter it down to what it's about, and then send you a summary and a subject of what it is going on. And the AI can also route the call. So say you have like a foreman type position and an office type position, and then there's you, and then maybe like a sales position, right? So you've grown, you got a good sized team. It can also be like a receptionist, figure out the intent of the call and then route the call to the right person. So these are just all ways that you can really provide better service to your clients, because one of the biggest complaints in the blue collar industry specifically, but definitely in land clearing, is uh, people just not answering their phone. And so again, human is always number one, but if the difference is human versus them calling a competitor, I would rather AI handle that. Um, and so that's another way you can build trust and speed by uh, letting the AI handle that and picking up jobs. Guys, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. Um, been kind of an informal chat today about trust, speed, and AI, and how it's going to be in every part of the business here pretty soon. Every big company that is a source of equipment for a land clearing company guaranteed has AI built into every part of the business already. I imagine if it's not already, it's going to be starting to get implemented into the softwares that run the machines. Um, so if you're a company and you may have been resistant to it, it's kind of an encouragement of, we need to get on board and figure out how we can utilize it to make our companies better and serve our clients better. And for me right now, that biggest thing is just trust and speed in terms of making us more efficient and more available to our clients to solve more problems more often in a shorter time frame. Another thing that AI is getting good at doing is finding people. So, like, if you can always run big ad campaigns and scoop up people searching or scoop up people interested, but thanks to Google knowing pretty much everything about everybody, if you use AI models right, you can find lists of people who would be your ideal client. Like, you can find lists of people who just purchased land, or that land was just transferred via ownership. Or if you want to find people with the highest credit scores in a certain area, or people with the highest income, not just like, I'm not talking about like ad set level targeting where it's like, yeah, target 10% of your zip code. No, I'm talking like finding a list and like finding out that Jim Smith makes $750,000 based on his taxes. You can find lists of people like that, and basically, the AI, which it's the thing it's best at, is going out and finding information very, very quickly. And so that's another huge way to use it, is to go out there and get your ideal clients and get you in front of them, especially for you guys who like are really looking to do bigger work. Um, it can sometimes be better to just target those people directly and literally call them directly, or send them mail, or send them an email or something. So that's another huge way you can use it to just pull information super quickly. And then for those of you who are maybe growing more and are building teams, you have guys calling leads, all this kind of stuff. It's really, really good at listening to recordings and gathering information, and then putting out summaries, but also putting out feedback or scorecards. So if you have 100 calls in a month, it can listen to all of those calls and figure out what were the main things you say. Did you stay on script? What were the things that made the difference in the people who said yes versus the people who didn't? How accurate was the information said? What was the tone of the salesperson? What was the tone of the potential buyer? All kinds of very cool things in terms of call listening and call quality. And once you get up, like, some of our guys are getting 200 plus calls a month and 100 plus leads a month. And so having an AI go through and like screen the quality of all of that can be super helpful in making your team more efficient and deciding what changes need to be made, and seeing like what you can do to land more jobs, close more jobs, please more people, stuff like that. Another really neat thing it can do is like qualify leads. And again, we were talking about the voice AI earlier, but you can also use like chat AI. And 99% of people are never going to know that they're talking with an AI, especially if you train it right. Um, and this can be a really great way to make sure people get information quickly, but also qualify them and learn a lot about them before you ever have to spend your time talking to them. And again, I'll go back to, if you're not doing this, you're going to get left behind. Like, people are doing this and learning it so quickly, and it's such a good leverage of your time. We've started to learn that, I always say, if you can get to a lead within 60 seconds, because of the statistics that came out of Harvard Business Study and One other big one that piggybacked that Alex Ramosi always talks about is if you can get to a lead within 60 seconds, it increases the chance they convert by 391%, 4x. But what I like to point out there is that the inverse is true. Is if you don't get to them within 60 seconds, your chance of you closing them drops by 4x. That's like another way to look at it, like an opportunity cost. And then from there, the gold standard is at least 5 minutes. But the average across the U.S. for service-based business is 42 hours. 42 hours follow-up time. And a lot of you will say that there's no way that's you. I call all my leads, but you don't call all of your leads soon all the time. Even some of our best clients who are the fastest, they let things slip through the cracks. Something will come up and they'll miss something for a day or two. So, I mean, and we're human, that happens. It's normal. But do you want to be normal, or do you want your business to be next level and to be the best? So that's where this chat AI can come in and never miss a lead. It never sleeps. It never stops. And it can be conversing back and forth with somebody, getting basic information so that when it comes time for you to be ready, then you already have all the information. You already have all the qualifiers. And I mean, it can do things like book estimates. Like once it realizes somebody is qualified, it can book a time for the next step. Pretty wild. But that's going to increase your speed to lead, which is literally just going to make you more money, proven without a doubt. It'll also allow you to scale up. Like right now, if you're owner operator, couple helpers, or even if like you have a couple crews and you only do, sales, you can only handle so much, right? Like you can only handle maybe 100, 150 leads. But if you add in this step of the AI filtering things for you, you may be able, if you could handle 100 leads yourself, well, you may be able to handle 200 leads now because the AI can filter out a whole bunch of them. So then you can get away with spending more on ads, getting more leads, and then getting more qualified jobs. And then it can help you, kind of scale a little more predictably. And it's only going to benefit your clients too. Like a lot of people think like, oh man, nope, my clients aren't going to like this. But the thing is, people want two things: trust and speed. And if you can give them more information than everyone else in a faster amount of time for them to be able to trust you and know you, you're going to win. And AI can do that without people even knowing that it's AI. It's huge. It's huge. And I'm not going to stop talking about it. And there's going to be quite a few people who are resistant to it, and they'll get left behind, and they'll wonder how their competition is blowing up so fast. And the ones who do, they're going to be the ones riding the wave. Riding the wave. But yeah, for those of you who may be watching this replay or maybe jump in here late live, I'm Jacob with Rise and Land Clearing Growth. I go live every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Central to talk about land clearing and land clearing marketing, growing land clearing business, things you can do to get more jobs, make more money, hire more people, be more efficient, and grow your land clearing business. Today I ended up talking mostly about trust, speed, process, and AI and how they can help all of those things. This is also a live Q&A, so if you ever join in the future, please feel free to drop questions in the chat. and I'd be happy to answer them. I do have 2 links down below, one for our um, landing page where you can learn a little bit more about what we do, and if you'd be interested in our help, you can go to the calendar and pick a time to talk. Ooh, sorry. And then the other link I have is to the training page on our website, which has a link to our private training group on School, where it's a private group of land clearing companies wanting to grow. And I have a couple tiers of that, including the free tier. And you can also see tons of free training videos on how you can basically, get more land clearing jobs yourself. So if that's something you'd be interested in, just check out those links below. And I'm going to hang out here for about 4 more minutes and then jump off. If you did watch today or you're watching the replay, I really appreciate it. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Land Clearing Growth. Woo.